All right, we're here today with Wilbert Rath, taking a look at some of his pictures. What's his first picture here, Wilbert?
This one here,
Yep.
that was when, I'd say I was about 2 years old, not even, I don't think so.
All right.
And it's my brother Walter and my dad,
And what was your dad's name?
John.
And who are we looking at here?
That's me and my brother Walter. And here I think I'm about, what, 3, 4, I think 4 years old.
Okay. And how did you and your brother Walter get along?
Oh, not too bad. We had our ups and downs like kids are. And this was early in the morning. I was in the late 30s, early 30s. Late 20s, I would say.
Is that your mother? with
Yes,
you there?
that's my mother and me.
And what's her name?
What was her name again? Alvina?
Was this one of the chores that you had to do?
In the mornings, yeah. Well, I just happened to help with mother when they done the chores in the morning.
Okay.
We were always around somehow. You know, like kids are. Here we dug out potatoes in the fall, and I'm there again. That's my mother. That's like, God, we must have raised a lot of potatoes.
What were all the types of vegetables that you grew on your farm?
On the farm, usually potatoes and what was the other stuff? I can't remember anymore. That's all I can remember.
Who are we looking at here?
That's my grandparents, Fader side, David Fader and Grandma Fader.
And what were your grandparents like? What were your grandparents like?
Oh, they were nice. Got along real well with them. They always give us a little money, like a nickel.
Where were they born?
By God, now, they come from I couldn't tell you where they were born.
Did they come over from Russia?
I don't think so. He's gonna look it up.
Did your grandparents ever tell you any stories of moving around on the plains or anything, or how they got to North Dakota?
Not that I know. I can't remember that.
Okay. What type of person was your grandmother?
In what way?
Was she...
She was good to us kids. Yeah. She was always nice to us.
How about your grandpa?
And Grandpa. I like Grandpa. He was okay.
Where did they live when you were growing up?
Oh, southwest here, about 13 miles southwest.
Did they come to visit often, or did you go visit
Oh,
them?
we visit them and they come and visit us. After my dad and mom got married, and then they came and visit us.
Did you ever go and stay with them for extended periods of time?
Oh, I stayed there once in a while, yeah. Like it was when I wanted to go to Grandma's, you got treated better. Or spoiled.
Is there anything else you'd like to add about your grandparents?
Well, they used to go out west in the fall and visit her daughters Yeah, that was the girls lived out there, and in the spring they came back again. It was tough going for her, because she couldn't talk English when they were on the road sometimes. And Grandpa got sick once, and boy, she had a heck of a time to accumulate with the English and German. But they made it. And this is another one of those old pictures here. That looks like me. That was early in the morning again. We fed the chickens and stuff like that. Cats and dogs.
What were some of the chores that you had to do around the house?
Feed the calves. Oh, around the house, you mean?
Well, around the barnyard,
feed the
I guess.
calves and stuff like that.
What all type of animals did you have besides chickens and calves?
Well, pigs yet. And that's about it that I can remember. Horses. Especially when we were that small, that we had horses, but I mean, we didn't ride any. Until later on we got bigger and then we rode some. Those are the ones that they visit out as the sisters. That's where they stayed.
And do you know who's all in?
Yeah, I know all of them. Can I point?
Yeah, go ahead.
Gottlieb Shower, and Fred Shower, and that's Grandma. Grandpa must be on here, no? I don't see him. Pauline. Where's Grandpa at? Oh, over here. Yeah. There were two sisters out there at that time. Lived in Elk Grove, California.
Okay.
That's my folks. And that's Walter, the oldest boy.
Was there ever any competition between you and Walter?
No, not too much. We had to get along out somehow. See, they're out like boys are sometimes. One wants everything, the other one didn't. One always gives in. That's. But that's all I want to see that one more time. That's me. That's my oldest brother, and that's my youngest brother, Oscar's.
Okay, could you do that again fast? Could you point who they are again?
This is, no, I forgot again. Yeah, this is me, Wilbert, Walter, Oscar.
And who's Oscar?
My brother, the youngest
Little
one.
brother?
Yeah.
Did you ever pick on him?
We used to wrestle. Give up.
How many brothers did you have?
That's it.
That's it?
2 brothers. 3 brothers, but one died. He died, how old was he about? I'd say about 1 year old. Yeah. And his name was Art.
Okay. Did you have any sisters?
Yeah, I had Irene, and then 2 stepsisters. Yeah, Judy and Werner. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's me and Walter again.
And what?
I'm the littlest one, the smallest one. Walter's the biggest one.
And whose car is that?
That was our neighbor's car. But Ferdinand, no. What the heck, let's see now. Caroling, it was Caroling's name, but I can't remember the first name. This is some brothers and some of my aunts and uncles, but I don't know what their names are.
Could you tell me about some of your aunts and uncles?
Well, Frida, they lived out in California. They had operated a store, and Fred and Gottlieb operated the store, and then their wives were my mother's sisters. So they all worked there, and I worked out there at that store too once in a while when I moved out a while. And this is our neighbors here. This is me. This is me. And that's one of our neighbor girls, Lucille. And that's their mother, Lucille's mother. And I don't know, Phyllis, I think. And two Negroes. That's their parents, the neighbors. And that's Werner, Judy here, my sisters. And there's Dad, my mother, and Helen Gross. They used to come and visit us a lot. A lot of fun with them.
What types of things would you do when they visited?
Play and joke around and stuff like that. And that was they were fun people. So. We had so much snow that time. Oh yeah, did we have snow?
And who is that there?
That's my brother Walter. We're stuck there and shoveling it up. I must be behind there. Yep.
Did you ever get stranded by snow out there on your farm?
Oh yeah. That sometimes took 3-4 days till we got out of it and come to town again. Yeah, it was tough. A lot of snow.
What would you do to pass the time when you were kind of stranded there?
Yeah, I stayed home, did the daily chores, and evenings we just sat around and played cards or whatever, games, stuff like that.
What type of card games would you play?
Oh, like what was these card games? Whist, the old time game, but Whist, old time Whist. Yep.
Okay.
And that's it. Here, I can't make them out who they are, though. Those are the two girls. This is my brother, again, and the two younger girls.
Do you remember when your family got their first automobile?
This one here, that's a 50, I'd say in 52, we got this pickup. Yeah, my dad bought it. And that's what we had. Otherwise we had an old international truck, but that didn't work too good. But this one, it was just like new. Bought that from the Pively Chevrolet garage here.
Did you always have automobiles when you were growing up, or did you start out with horses?
With horses, lots of times. I mean, we rode to the neighbors. Yeah. I didn't have a car until I was 28. No, 24. And I'll show you about my first car that I had. Here is my first car I got. That's a 39 Plymouth Chevrolet. Then I got to drive to town with that.
What would you do when you went to town?
Oh, drive around, pick up girls. That's before her time. And it's the same thing with tractors here. Me and my brother Walter. That's all we had to do years ago, play with stuff like that.
Do you remember when you got your first tractor on the farm?
This one here, in 1942. We got it, bought it in Ashland, drove it all the way home, 10 miles northwest of Wishick.
Let's take a look at that.
That's the one here, same thing.
And how did having a tractor change your life?
Oh, I tell you, it got easier. George got easier. Didn't have to use all the horse. I was plowing with a 2-bottom plow, so we plowed with that pretty well day and night sometimes. So the next day, then they start seeding it, the lamb, and when it was plowed. And that was our pony here. That's what we had. That was our chore horse that we got, a pony.
And is that you on it?
No, that's, I think if I'm right, it's Judy.
Did the horse have a name? Do you remember?
King.
King?
Yeah, his name was King. He was pretty shrewd. If you fell off, he ran home. You had to walk home.
You mentioned earlier that when you got older, you rode horses. Would you ride King?
Oh yeah, we rode King. So later on we got him, and then we liked him so much. He was a nice horse. We made some nice pictures. Here's another picture from him.
And is that you on there?
That's Ricky, my nephew. This is my brother and his wife, and Terry. And they got married. They were married about a few, I don't know how many, but let's see how old he is. How old was? Oh, that's Carmen. Carmen was born first. Yeah. And they lived with us for a while, and with my parents until they got their own farm. So.
What was your brother like?
Oh, pretty good, I would say. We got along pretty good. Okay, let's see what's here. This is my aunt, Caroline.
And where did she live when you grew up?
She lived at the home place at west of Wishick, about 7 miles and a mile south.
Could you tell me a little
With
bit
the parents, with what was his name, George, and what was the mother's name again? Can't remember. And they got married in 1934.
Could you tell me a little bit about her?
Well, she was a nice lady, I would say. And then after they got married, they moved to town, and they had started a cream station. That's what all I can remember about that.
Did you get to visit them very often, or did she visit?
Oh yeah, years ago we used to visit a lot of people like that. Every time, brothers and sisters, and aunts and uncles. And there's Paul Schatz, and I don't know too much about him, but they got married, and she was my aunt, Elma.
Is that SCHOTTZ, shots?
Pardon?
How do you spell shots?
Oh. S C H, isn't it?
Like that.
Isn't that a C in there? Okay.
Okay.
Let's go in the trashing business here. Trashed for the farmers, about 17 farmers we trashed for. My dad owned the trashing machine and the tractor, and all the neighbours helped out, hauling the trash and finish up the neighbours. That lasted sometimes till the latest I ever was in December the 16th when it finished up. Colder than hell. And after we were done, boy, we all went home with our horses and boxes.
Could you describe a typical threshing day for you when you were growing up?
Well, me and my brother, was one thing about it, we always wanted to go along and help because they had such good break lunches and dinners and stuff. We wanted to be with them so we get all the good food. One had to all stay home. So finally one day we both got along. I mean, me and Oscar got to go along. And otherwise, we always had good food. Oh, was it good. We worked really hard, but we loved the food.
What type of food would they serve you?
Oh, God, they had so much chicken, especially chicken. That was number one. And then soup and all that other stuff, potatoes and gravy. And instead of pie, all that stuff.
How early would your day start?
When daylight broke, that could have been, say, about 5:30. Then we harnessed up the horses and all that, and then we went in and had breakfast, and then we went out in the fields. And here's someone went out in the fields, start trashing again, till dark. Yep. Let's see that one. Yeah. We trashed about a whole week on this pile, all straw. That was a big straw pile. We used to, in the wintertime, we let the cattle there, and they kept themselves warm, and I ate the straw, and there was some kind of wheat in it, or barley, whatever.
And is this another picture?
Yeah, that's about the same thing. That's about the same thing too here.
Go through these.
When we trashed, we had sometimes we had 8 boxes, and 2 fielders out in the field help load up, and 2 guys unloading in the trash machine. And we were moving. This is some of the help that we had. The neighbors, all the neighbors. Want the names?
Yeah.
Wilbert Eagle, Chris Eisenman, and my dad. He was the thrashing man, the boss. And this is my brother Walter, and it's me back here, Wilbert, and Bert Kellerling, and Chris Stiegel, and this one I don't know anymore. That was, can't remember that anymore. But we always had a good crew. Boy, they all liked to help us. And then when some of these other neighbors finished up trashing, then their help come and asked if they could help us. And we hired them because they just loved to be with my dad. Dad was easy to get along with.
Did you ever joke around while you worked with each
Oh,
other?
yeah. We did do some wrestling once in a while after we were done. Crazy things. Yeah.
Did you have a favorite position on the threshing crew or a favorite job that you did?
Well, like me, and I had a box saloon, and we had feelers out it. They helped me load it, so to get in, and then we had another guy in there helping unload. We just kept going steady. Yeah. Number one was the food. And let's see, once here's some more then. Let's see. There's snow. There's the tractor we bought in 1950. We had a lot of snow that year. And this is my brother, Oscar. The horses.
What was your brother Oscar like?
Oh, all right.
Did you and him get along pretty good?
Yeah, well, when he got through 8th grade school, then he went to college. He didn't even go to high school. But there was some of his buddies, they helped him out. They went to Fargo, and they went to business college. That's where he got his education then. Then after he got out of there, then he worked for Collins as a timekeeper, or a bookkeeper, or whatever. And that's how he gets going that way.
So he didn't have to have a high school diploma to
No,
get it?
no. Yeah, after he had his diploma from college. And this is my dad, and then they said that Dad called them the Minnesota Twins. They lived on Hutchinson, Minnesota, and then when my sister had 2 twins. And when they come home, Dad always said, the twins are coming home. Minnesota Twins are coming home. And some people couldn't understand that. They thought it was the Twins ball players.
Is your dad a baseball fan?
Huh?
Was your dad a baseball fan?
Well, he watched it. I mean, then I know we played ball years ago, and neighbors got together and then had choose size. Then we played. And Sunday afternoons, sometimes evenings, just to pass the time.
What was your favorite position?
I was a fielder. Yeah. That's my mother and dad from way early days.
Did you ever hear a story of how they met?
No, that was before my time.
Of your 2 parents, who was the stricter one?
Huh?
Who's the more strict parent?
Well, Dad was a little strict. Mom was very nice. She was a very nice mother. She died so young. She died in 1942, and that was the year. So like, Dad's birthday was the 6th, and my mother's was the 5th, and they were both the same age. They were born 1900. They went with the year, and she died in 42. She was real young. And those are my dad's brothers. That's Ludwig.
Okay.
And then it's my dad, John. Then there's there's another one in there. There's Andy Munch. He wasn't a brother, but he was a brother-in-law. And then there's Ferdinand Rath and Edward Rath.
What was the second one?
This one here, that's Ferdinand Rath. And this is Edward.
Where did these guys live when you were growing up?
Well, we lived let's see, it's 8 miles west, 9 miles. 9 miles west and a mile south. And that picture I had a while ago here, that's right by that cemetery where we're going to go.
Okay. Did you have a favorite uncle?
Oh, I had quite a few uncles that I liked. I mean, they were all, I got along real good with them. That's tornado. We had tornadoes. And that took the farm, part of the farm. That happened, that was in, when was that? In 63. Yeah, 63. In the spring.
Where would you go during tornadoes? Where would you go during tornadoes?
Well, we weren't home at the time. We were coming home from Bismarck, and I had the back surgery. And then we got home and went, this was all taken care of. So when folks were home yet, but we came home later.
Is this more of the tornado?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Did you have any other tornadoes when you were growing up?
Oh yeah, we had some barns. Let's see, I'm trying to find them here. I had a big stag of bales, about 1,600 bales up on a hill. And I took that all and spread it around the farm yard. God, what a mess. Oh, what's that a mess?
Were tornadoes a big fear when you were growing up of everybody?
Well, that was the first time. No, we had a storm once before, just a strong wind that took the barn down. But then there was a tornado here. And that came out of Pollock, South Dakota, that tornado. That came all the way up until Bernstead. Then it hit the Red Lake. Then he pocketed himself full of water and he lost ground and then it quit. But there was a lot of farms that were damaged, man. What's here? There's another picture. And it damaged all of it. We had a lot of damage. Some cattle were underneath the building. Then we had to drag them out. This is my uncle, Fader, Ed Fader. We had a lot of fun with them people. He got married in 53, well, when the war broke out. So he didn't have to go to service. I mean, because he was the only one at home. So he didn't have to go. And this is my brother-in-law, my sister, and their kids. They live in Bismarck.
And what's her name? Do you know her name?
Irene and Harry.
What was your sister Irene like?
Oh, well, she was home until she went when she went to high school, and then she left. So we weren't too close after that, but we always got along real well. And this is my dad, and this is my wife, and that's my uncle and Hannah, and Gottlieb and Frida. I mean, Pauline. She was an ace. She lived out west, and she always wanted to like have parties, and she made dinners and stuff like all that. So,
okay, could we go through that one more time?
okay, this is my dad, his mother, my second mother. Christine is her name. And then there's this Henry Fader, their brothers and sisters here. And then that's his wife, Hannah. And this is Gottlieb Schauer and his wife, Pauline. They built the Gottlieb and Schauer and Fred Schauer, they built a grocery store out there while I was out there, and then I helped in the grocery store for a few years. This is my mom and dad. I think that was our 30th year marriage. And some of them was trashing pictures here, but I can't tell who they are, if that helps you any. Another one like that. Used to have the water tank bag, water cream can bag that was full of water in case it gets hot on the track.
Where would you fill the water jugs up from?
Oh, we got that from the pumps at home and brought them out. Filled up the cream cans with water in case the track gets too warm, so we added water. And this was my Uncle Ann, Foote and Rath, and Eleanor. They were married in 1937.
What was his last name? What was his last name?
Rath. They had had a son by the name Stevie, and they moved around a lot too. But then they moved out west to Sacramento, and then he started working for a truck line, Stevie, and then later on he went and bought another truck line, and he operated it himself, and he must have had it for about 24 years or something like that. He did real good business with it, and his dad helped him and fix up these semi boxes, repair them. That's where he worked. And he only had 8th grade, and got in a business like that. That's where he worked. And his boss said, "Well, if you can't make it, just come back. You got a job. Work for them again." So he made it. That's another shower from out west, and brother to Gottlieb shower. Those are the ones that got the store together. I'll give you this one here. We raised some pigs. That's the story I told you earlier. They hated a fence post.
You want to tell that story again?
And then they had wanted to sell them when they were bigger. They weighed about 200 pounds, something like that. And I tried to catch one of them. We couldn't get him. And I went after him, and there was a hard frost in the fall. And I went after him. I was going to get her by the tail. I grabbed her by the tail, but I was too late, and I hit that fence post. I broke her smike off. The dad said, "Oh my God!" He kind of smashed my head.
Did you hurt your head at all?
Not at all. It didn't hurt at all. Here's where Tilly's driving here, and I'm stacking up with hay. That's when we lived with folks for a while. That's when we were bindery. And I do some shocking. Dad and Oscar drove the binder, and we walked behind and shocked the bundles up right away and stood them up.
And how did bindering work?
Well, at binder we drove, and then bindering, and then tightened the bundles little ones, then we usually dumped them after there was six in a pile, and then after we walked behind it, we pushed them together, and so they were standing up. That's how that worked. And here's where it got easy once. When Dad asked, well, you want a trash or you want a combine? And he had the money, and so he said, I said, we would have liked both of everything, the combine and the money. And I said, well, we'll take the combine. And we didn't have the header anymore. We haven't even got a picture from the header. And this is Walter with the sleds in the wintertime. Hauled hay out for the cattle.
Would you go anywhere else in the wintertime with the sled?
Oh yeah, to the neighbors once in a while. Drove for company in the evenings. One time we went, that was before I met her. We left at our place with with the team, and we went to the neighbors, to John Shook's place, and there was 4 of them that went along. Then we went up to Carl Keepler's. There we switched horses on the sled, and then we went over to Eisenman's, and there were 2 sleds. So we changed horses again. Then we went over to Deagle's. That had to be about 14 miles. Everybody in the mornings, sometimes we got home at 5 o'clock and had a ball. Nice weather. I mean, in the wintertime, some of these nights were really nice. I mean, but we switched horses because there was too much. We had too many people on the sled. So.
When you went to all these people's houses, what would you do when you got there?
Well, there's one particular place that we got there. Then these people, their name was Deagles, and they made all kinds of homemade stuff. The girls and the boys, they had homemade wine. They had pop and root beer, and orange, and the women, they cooked pies and cookies and whatnot. All. We just loved to go there and shoot the breeze. We didn't play no cards, just have a lot of fun. Yeah. Then when we went home, but boy, that was late till we got home the next morning. Let's see now here. This is where we trashed when we had so much wheat one year. We dumped a lot of wheat out in the right beside the farm there. And then later on we picked it up and then hauled it to town.
After you threshed, where you said you take all the wheat to town?
We dumped some because we didn't want to. Well, we had to dump it because we didn't have enough big trucks to haul it in. So we dumped it, and then when we were all done with trashing, then we loaded it up and brought it in. So we didn't have to stop the machine. See, that's what we did. Then that time there was about 1,600, 1,800 bushels laying there. Yeah. And those are Dad's cattle out there feeding them. He's following with a pickup.
How many cattle did you have roughly when you were growing up?
Oh, I'd say about 40, 50 head that time. These cattle were all out of that straw pile when we trashed down for a week. They went out the field not even about a quarter mile, and they made their home out there. And then they came back to the yard and had water, and then they trottled out again to the straw pile. Sometimes they had a tunnel underneath, but we had to watch it. So if that would have collapsed, then some of them would have died. Yeah.
Did you ever brand your cattle?
Not that time. Not that time. No. And this is when I was in business with the trucking. I had my own truck, and then I hauled my dad's cattle there. I would come out and I picked them up, free of charge. Helped my dad out. Well, I probably had one or two head out there too, I guess.
Who taught you how to drive?
Me? Boy, I'll tell you, I think I had to learn myself, if I'm right.
And what did you learn to drive on or in?
Well, you take like the tractors, get to drive the tractors like the little A tractors, and then pretty soon I drove, when we would harvest something, I had to drive the truck because you didn't have to worry about the traffic. I mean, you had the whole field up by yourself. That's how we got started. And here's old days, we had to shovel the trucks off. It was full of wheat. We had to shovel it off. I think that's, I don't know if that's me or not. Is it? I'm not so sure anymore. Let's see. Can I look at it?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's dead. Dead and me sitting, that's me there. That was hard work when I had to shovel it. So there was no hydraulic. This was hydraulic shovel with hand.
And you'd have to shovel wheat from
there to the wagon box. I mean, sometimes on here I had a picture. Oh, this is the elevator here then. See, that's where we had to shovel it on, and then the elevator took it up to the granary. That saved us a lot of labor when we had that one.
And when did you get that, roughly?
Oh, I'd say in the middle 40s. No, yeah, I'd say the beginning 40s. Yeah.
And before you had that, how would you get the grain up there?
Oh, we had to shovel by hand. Everything by hand. And let's see, I got some right here. That's another one I made. Yeah, well, that's about the same thing, the bundle wagons. We're pretty well down. I mean, I don't know, I just don't know them people, so I get a kick on how they were dressed years ago. And I don't know any of them.
What type of clothes did you wear when you were growing up?
Well, pants like this, and once in a while bib overalls.
Were they mainly store-bought or were they handmade?
They were bought. Yeah, they were bought. Yeah.
Did you ever have to wear any of the hand-me-downs from Walter?
Not them. I mean, because after he was done, I had to have different ones because they were worn out. I wouldn't wear them.
Where did you get your shoes from?
Shoes from Sears Rubber Catalog, I think. Or the Hermerks, Wishick, the grocery store and a clothing store. That's where we got our clothes from.
And so you'd order them, then you'd have to wait for them to come in the mail?
Well, they had them here. I mean, you could just pick them out and bought them, and we bought them to try them on, like clothes you had to try on too.
Okay.
And here's where we had some snow. Oh. They were plowing. That's just a picture. Couldn't use the outhouse that time of the year.
What would you use instead?
Go to the barn.
Could you describe your outhouse for us?
The outhouse? Well, in the summertime we used it. Then we had a Sears Rubber Cadillac or Montgomery Cadillac. That was tissue. Oh, God. Those were hard times. And you took it, rubbed it so it got softer. Went through hell once in a while. That's just of a picture when they had a snowblower on there. I think it was my dad's tractor.
What type of snowblowers did you have?
Like these snowblowers they got around here now when they blow snow. I mean, that's what we had in front. That was one of the first ones that came out, snowblower like that. And then we had it in this tractor, like this one here. Shoot like that and it shoots it out.
Did you ever have to help neighbors?
Oh, we
dig
had
out?
to open the roads from our place all the way to number 13. And then by the time we had it open, we went home that night. We got home about 11:30. We started out at 10 o'clock in the morning. So we had those roads open, and then there were some people that were right behind us to take their cream and eggs to town. So that we all had to turn around and go back home again. The next morning it was blowed shut again. Those were things that we had to do over many a times. As my dad, he always overhauled tractors. And that's his brother, he came from California. Ludwig was his name. I think Oscar must be driving the bicycle there.
Did your dad, was he pretty mechanically inclined?
Oh yeah, he did a lot of mechanical. I did too. You had to learn a lot of yourself instead of bringing it to town, because that time it was too far to come to town with everything, so you did it yourself.
Where would you go to get parts?
In town, here that was I'd say about 10 miles, 12 miles, something like that, 10 miles. Then go home and start fixing it, putting it together. I sometimes thought when he took it all apart, I didn't think he'd ever get it together. There's so many parts, but he was pretty good at it. And here they moved the barn. That was only about a mile away from our place out there. But I can't remember who they are. This is the ball games in the evenings that we had, or in the Sunday afternoons. But I don't know any of them. It's been too long already. I don't think anybody was married yet from us guys.
What other type of games did you play?
Hide and go seek. Stuff like that. What do they call it? Fox and the Goose? Oh God. Some funny games there. But we had fun. This is the bank from Wishick here, Security State Bank. That must have been in the 30s, early 30s when that was taken.
How often did you get to town when you were growing up?
Oh, I'd say maybe once a week. Well, the folks got on about once a week, but we didn't get to town maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks sometimes. And then sometimes one of us got to go along. So one had to stay home and do the chores till they get back and stuff like that.
What types of things would you get to do when you went to town with your parents like that?
Play pool. That's why I got to be a shark. I got a trophy setting, one up here, one here. It was quite a deal. And when you come to town, boy, you had to hurry up, because the pool tables were always taken. In the bar, at the pool tables, they were all full. So you hurry up and grab them, because later on they wanted to go home, so they wanted to play a few games at pool.
Were you allowed in the bar when you were a little kid?
No, only when the parents were dead was along. And then Dad, pretty soon I was in there, and there was always a guy in there. He was taking dimes for a game of pool, and he knew that I wasn't old enough. He'd always chase me out, Then I thought, well, later on when I'm going to be 21, I'm going to fool him. I'm not going to say a darn thing. Then when I was 21, he didn't ask me. He said, "But I must have found out from somebody else. I was going to get even with him." Yeah. This is me and my cousin Leo and Walter. I would say, how old were we there at that time? I don't know.
And who is who?
This is me, and this is Leo, and that's Walter. We had these short pants years ago, knee pants that came up here tight. That's all we had that time.
All right, Wilbert.
Yes,
Whose grave are we at now?
we're on my Rath site, Dorothy Rath and George G. Rath. Dorothy Rath died in we'll say 38. Was born in 1873 and died in 38, and George died is born in 1886 and died in 1939. And when she died, there was a dust storm that day. God, those fields were just blowing like crazy. Yeah, it was a bad year too that time.
What type of person was your grandmother?
My grandma,
Yeah.
she was a very clean lady. I mean, everything had to be just so. We had a picture, but I don't know if I got one or not. But she used to sit on the table, and George, he was sitting and reading the paper, and they had one of these, not that kerosene, it was one of these mandel lights. At that time there was no electricity yet, and she was crocheting. That was her favor.
And what type
She was neat.
Okay. And what type of person was your grandfather?
What about the same, I'd say. Yeah.
All right. Do you remember his funeral?
Yeah, I remember that too, but not too much, but I can remember hers real well. So anyway, he had prostate cancer, and he died. Oh, I mean, there was hardly no doctor that could help at that time. And just weird, they took, neighbors came and stayed and then sat overnight with him. And I tell you, we were there too, but we were small kids, but pain, and you wouldn't believe the way he had pains. I don't know, they had no painkillers, I think, yet.
Okay. Were there funerals both held in churches?
Yeah, right here. I showed you that first church that was here, so right here.
Okay. Did you have any body viewings at their house or at your parents' house or anything?
The bodies were laying at the house until the funeral.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were they carried to the cemetery on?
They carried them over in the coffin. They walked them. I mean, they carried the coffin all the way over here. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add about your grandparents?
Well, I don't know anything else, but I know they were well. I liked them real well. They were nice people. But they went through hard times too. They know all the hard times. Yeah. And I think they came out of Leola. Yeah. Because that's where Dad's relation was all. So. And that's about all I can tell you.